to reference back the game that ended more recently that we discussed near the top of the show, Florida and Miami. I had with Oklahoma and Auburn the feeling that Oklahoma was mostly in control for most of the game, and yet you're watching in the second half, and here we go. Auburn gets back in this thing, and Jackson Arnold has a big fourth down conversion, and you get a pass interference penalty in the end zone, and then you're running it in, and sure enough, Auburn's got a 17-16 lead. Then money line Mateer. At one point in the second half, I think I had him as 11 straight completions. Ends up finishing about 67% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
It was not an overwhelmingly awesome offensive day for Oklahoma. I think they could have done a better job of finishing drives, probably made this game a little bit less sweaty near the end. But it ends up being Mateer with his legs stretching across the goal line for the go-ahead touchdown that ended up being the not the winner, not the against the spread winner. No, that came from Mason Thomas and the defense to deliver the sack for an all-time cover burger. Listen. We'll say. Do you want to start there with the cover?
Yeah, I was fine with the cover. Tom, Chip, you're a baseball guy too, to some extent. What's like the most baseball-ish team that was just awesome pitching, a lot of strikeouts, timely home runs, it wins in the playoffs?
I guess you could go with like the Royals a few years ago with their bullpen, if you want to count that instead of starting pitching. That's kind of it.
The Giants.
The Giants work, yeah, for sure.
On your hat. I was hoping. Okay, I know you're a recent Giants fan. That's who they are, right? Like the defense is the awesome pitching. Mateer can't play from the pocket worth a damn, man. He is just off script magic. It's just chaos on offense. Arbuckle is an absolute wizard of a play caller, like scheming up enough stuff that he can hit. He doesn't really see the field very well from like the traditional, like let's read it out, man. But the defense is just going to keep him in games so much, and he's probably going to hit enough home runs more often than not. I had him as my SEC champion last week for the playoff picks, and I just think that defense is really, really good. But today I'm backing off that a little bit because the total lack of a run game. I mean, I need you to be able to play like in structure at least a little bit, and that was concerning. I know they had some offensive line injuries and they had a lot of pressure on him, but at one point in this game,
I thought Auburn's defense answered the call in a way that I think, Bud, you were on this in terms of like, it's not just Falk. Like they've got a lot of players. That's a pretty good defense right there.
Yeah, I think they have a nice defensive line. Like they fly around a little bit. At one point, Oklahoma was on pace. I was in studio with Shahan. So there was 2 minutes left in the ball game, in the first half. With 2 minutes left in the first half, Oklahoma was on pace for 24 tackles for loss, which I think would be a record.
I mean, they set their own program record. You think about how many times Oklahoma's had nasty,
and that's a good O-line for Auburn. Like,
what say?
Yeah, right.
I mean, how great is that too? I had this note. Last time that 10+ sacks was an AP ranked team, Mikey's got it on the screen. The fact that it also happened against Auburn, man, that's something. And that Auburn team was good. Didn't that 2017 Auburn team like make the SEC championship game?
Who was their quarterback that year?
It was the Kerryon Johnson year. I don't remember who the quarterback was.
Oh, it's
Nate Marshall?
No, Marshall's 13.
No, it's the white guy who played for the Patriots. He played at Baylor and Texas Tech for a little bit. Stidham, yes.
Yeah, it was Stidham. Okay.
He was at Baylor, and then he was at Auburn.
Yeah, Wasn't he a Texas Tech commit?
Maybe. Yeah. But, this is to me, the story here is Oklahoma's defense, which you could argue might be where do we put Oklahoma's defense?
One of the best in the country.
One of the best in the country. Yeah.
Like top 3, top 4.
Yeah. There were 2 NFL quarterbacks on that Auburn team, by the way.
Who's the other?
Sean
Malik Willis.
Oh God.
But no, Oklahoma's defense. I mean, Auburn's defensive line was phenomenal. I thought Oklahoma's defensive line was phenomenal. I thought that Oklahoma's secondary was getting cooked a little bit by Cam Coleman, but
He's
They
so
couldn't
good,
guard him.
dude. He is so good.
that's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
I said when we were doing the big game breakdown, I said, Cortland Guillory, I like you, but you're going to see a lot of Cam Coleman in this game, and he saw more than he wanted to see on some of those throws. But yeah, I mean, I think Oklahoma's legitimately good, and like these are one of those games where you don't really play great, but you win. Like you need to have these kind of games to get to the playoff, to get to the SEC championship. So the fact that Oklahoma is able to pull that one out to get off to a 4-0 start, I think is huge for them. And if I'm Auburn, like it sucks. And I know that they're going to be pissed about like the one officiating call where the guy that was like pretended to be subbing out and stayed on, and the refs didn't call it, and the SEC released a statement about it like before we started the show. But
What did they say?
They basically said that it will be handled, and the refs screwed it up, and that's all they're going to say. But like if I'm Auburn, I don't feel terrible coming out of this. I'm actually probably somewhat optimistic in that we were able to hang with a good team on the road. Like I don't, you know, they're not going to win the SEC, I don't think, but I think still a team based on what we saw today is going to be able to compete with pretty much everybody left on its schedule.
Oh, I like that for sure.
They could win the SEC.
They could.
I would pick 5 teams to win the SEC before I'd get to Auburn.
At least.
At least.
Yeah, probably 6 or 7.
Like, yeah, we're looking at that schedule. It's like nobody on there is like, I'm sitting there thinking Auburn's got no shot in hell of beating any of these teams. I don't expect them to beat them, but I think that they're going to be close games.
But I think that, to your point, Tom, the win against Baylor and the way that this went against Oklahoma, you're going into this next little gauntlet not worried about losing the season. Because remember, we were talking about win totals for Auburn. We were like, oh no, all those winnable games are in the back half. But what if they've checked out? You know, like no, there is belief. I think that within that Auburn program, I think that they think that they've got a good team. They like their group, and this is still a team that very much can be competitive, as you mentioned, in every game that's left on the schedule, for sure.